Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Doc Live. So glad you are joining us. Some of you jump on super early. That's fabulous. I just love the energy and the excitement that people have at the opportunity to be able to join us and speak with Dr. Wallach live. It is truly, truly an honor to be able to bring this program to help support the community as a whole in the empowerment of taking control of your own health. Again, welcome to Ask Doc Live. My name is Rebecca Kozak, and I will be your host for the next couple hours. I am joined by my co-host, John T. McCollier, our amazing webmaster as well, and the beautiful Nasima Omar. And Ruth Ellen will be here with us shortly. And it is just, it's exciting to be able to bring this program to you so that you can ask the questions that you want to ask that are coming from decades of research, as the answers go, by the man who did the research himself and was paid to do it and fired several times because he was bringing the truth. So without further ado, again, welcome to Ask Doc Live. We do have a website, askdoclive.com, where you will be able to find all of the replays from our programs since we started in July of 2020. Can't believe it's 2021 already. And I want you to make sure that if you have the desire to get any of the products and you were shared this program and invited to this program by somebody that you know, a friend, they cared enough about you to give you this information. Get back with them if you want to order any of the products or have questions, specific questions about your health. Otherwise, if you're part of our newsletter and you receive the invitation there, you can always do a reply to that invitation with your questions. But we've got a store, we've got Dr. Wallach's books, all can be found at askdoclive.com. And there's even a contact us on the website as well. So here we go, the legalities of it all. The content of this program is to provide nutritional education information only. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. And any testimonials that are shared on this program, they are real life results using the products mentioned and recommended by Dr. Joel Wallach. As an empowered individual, you have options available. And we are honored to have one of the founding fathers of epigenetics here to guide us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Welcome, Dr. Wallach.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, and thank you, John T. and Nasima and the whole team, Mary Ellen. Okay. It's one of those things where I hate to keep harping on the same subject, but things are getting worse, so you got to harp on it a little bit. For those of you that are new, just very briefly, things that make me different is I do have a degree in agriculture. My major is in animal husbandry and nutrition. My minor is in field crops and soils. I do have a degree in veterinary medicine. I have a postdoctoral fellowship in pathology. My thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure based on 20,000 autopsies. I'm very proud of that. Dr. Milan and I did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 in Qishan, China. It's published in 3 languages. The English version is The Biology of Trace Element Research, came out in 1990. That research resulted in the end of cystic fibrosis, thought to be a genetic disease, really just nutritional deficiency. Getting rid of muscular dystrophy, thought to be a genetic disease, really just a simple nutritional deficiency. And also sudden infant death syndrome we got rid of based on that study. And only 2% of the babies that were diagnosed with, before the study, only 2% of the babies that were diagnosed with sudden death syndrome were in bed with their mothers when they died. 98% were not. And so that whole thing about the mothers laying on the babies was just crapola science, if I can say that. Okay. Then, of course, I went on in 1982 to become a naturopathic physician in Portland, Oregon, and have been a physician since then, licensed in Oregon and California, and I'm getting licensed in Arizona as we speak, because I'm going to be working with 23 tribes of Native Americans, because 64% have diabetes, which is a simple nutritional deficiency disease. We'll get rid of it. Okay, with all that said, what's going on here? Well, a month or so ago, Johns Hopkins came out and said that when it comes to COVID, incidence-wise, 12% per 100,000, let me back up here, 12, not 12%, 12 per 100,000 of Asians get COVID. 349 per 100,000 of European-derived people, Italians and Spanish and USA and Latinos and Mexicans, 349 per 100,000 get COVID. Okay. So let's look at deaths per 100,000. This is just as of this morning. Okay. Well, first I'll give you the numbers in the United States. A year and a half ago, Rebecca, this guy by the name of Fauci, a medical doctor, Fauci, right? Anthony Fauci, I think his name is.
I think most of us have heard that name a couple times over this last 9 months.
Okay, well, a year and a half ago, he came out and said, look, to deal with this pandemic, I'll just use the words pandemic, to deal with this pandemic, wash your hands, wear a mask, and distance yourself socially 6 feet, and everything will be fine. What did we get? What is the results? What did we get for distancing, washing our hands, and wearing a mask for a year and a half? 21,259,000 infected in the United States alone. 21,259,000 infected in the United States alone, and 360,000 dead. Now, I want you to appreciate when the Japanese Imperial Navy attacked Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941, they killed 2,400 American sailors. They killed 2,400. Is that less than 360,000?
That's.
And we started the Second World War to respond to that. And Dr. Fauci still goes to work in the morning, has his cup of coffee, and everything's fine. I believe he should go to jail, because following his instructions, we have 360,000 dead, 21,259,000 infections, with all the inconveniences and expenses and blah, 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 blah. Well, I've broken it down a little bit more as of this morning. When you look at deaths per 100,000, the indigenous Native Americans are 133 per 100,000 deaths. Black people in America is 123.7, 124. Polynesians are 90.4. Latinos are 86.7. Whites are 75.7. And Asians are 54.6. So why is it, in all ways that you measure this pandemic, why is it that the Asians have the lowest rate of infections and the lowest rate of death? Well, that's because of diet. Okay, it's not a racial thing, it's diet. And what happens here is the Asians and the Polynesians, of course, live mostly on rice and sweet potatoes. That's their diet. And of course, when you get the Black population and the indigenous peoples in North America, they live on wheat, barley, rye, and oats, the breakfast of champions, Wheaties, Quaker oats, cream of wheat, spaghetti, the pizza crust made from wheat, okay? Flour tortillas, it's endless. Cerveza, which is beer. I wonder why they came out with the Corona beer. That's interesting, okay? And so at any rate, it's very, very obvious that it's how people eat affects them and what's going on. Well, wheat, barley, rye, and oats, gluten has a pro-inflammatory cytokine in it okay, which causes the death of the lining of your intestines. Those villi, your intestines go away. So instead of looking like a shag rug, your intestines look like a smooth plastic tube. You lose 98% of the absorptive surface. So even if you're supplementing, you're not going to get much value. Now, those supplements are important for your defensive system, your immune system. Your immune system is your bone marrow, makes white blood cells, T cells, stem cells to make antibodies to go chase down and kill the viruses and bacteria and fungus, whatever's infecting you, whatever the pandemic is caused by. And if you're eating rice and sweet potatoes, that doesn't happen. Your villi are still there. And people say, well, yeah, but those Asians are not supplementing. Yes, they are. Are they eating fried potatoes? No. They eat baked sweet potatoes, eat rice, but they also eat a lot of seaweed and kelp and algae. And those sea plants take up all the minerals out of the ocean. Remember, we have plant-derived minerals. Okay. And so they've been doing this, since the beginning of time.
Love our plant-derived minerals.
Yeah. Okay. And so they are supplementing. And of course, people who are part of the Asian community and the Latino community and so forth. I mean, I deal really with 2 million people a day in over 50 countries through Zooms like this. And we have a new one coming out where we talk to 8 Chinese speaking countries. Okay. 8 Chinese speaking countries. I would speak for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and then they would translate it into Mandarin. I'd speak for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, they translate it into Mandarin. It's coming out. I mean, we're like 99% done. In a couple of weeks to a month, it'll be out. And it's called the Manchurian Prescription. Are you old enough to remember the movie, The Manchurian Candidate? Okay, The Manchurian Candidate came out. I'm assuming you can still hear me because you're shaking your head. Okay.
Yeah, I still hear you.
Okay. And so the Manchurian Candidate was about brainwashing American prisoners who were captured during the Korean War by the North Koreans. They brainwashed them for years. And after the war was over, they were still unwittingly acting as agents for North Korea because they were brainwashed for 2 years in the prison. And they were called the Manchurian Candidates. So it was a very bad political system in China back in the 20s and 30s. And even it was so bad the Chinese government stopped the Manchurian political party back in the 1930s. And so I've named this thing that we've been given to do by Dr. Fauci, the Manchurian Prescription. So that's why it's called the Manchurian Prescription, okay? And again, if you think about it, how many people have we had in the longevity business get sick with COVID? I mean, we're talking less than a handful. How many people have we had die of COVID in longevity? Out of the millions of people who work with us, 0, okay? Because they know to get off of wheat, brown, rye, and oats and live on rice and sweet potatoes like the Asians. They know to get on their 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 acids, 3 fatty acids to support the immune system. So if they do get confronted by any virus, bacteria, or fungus, their bone marrow is able to respond by releasing white blood cells, the T cells, T lymphocytes, which go through the bloodstream to kill and eat the viruses and bacteria and fungus, right? It's not just one bug, it's all bugs that we respond to. It's all bugs that we have the capacity to repel and defend against if you give your body all the right stuff. But you have to stay away from the bad stuff so you can absorb the right stuff. Now, here's my last piece of information on this, and then we'll go to any direction you want to go. And that is, all these vaccines, there's like 4 or 5 different vaccines out, and every one of them is touting the benefit of their vaccines and so forth. But you're going to see an extremely variable response to the vaccination. Vaccines do not kill viruses, bacteria, or fungus. They just alert your body to a DNA, RNA, or protein from viruses, bacteria, and funguses. So when the bug hits you, regardless of which bug it is, your body says, there it is. It's a bad thing. So it'll release the white blood cells, the antibodies, and red blood cells and platelets to go kill and eat the viruses and bacteria and fungus, right? Well, guess what? If you can't absorb the nutrients to give to your bone marrow to make white blood cells and antibodies and red blood cells and platelets, you cannot respond to the appearance of that bug. Okay, and the bug's still going to kill you, even though you've been vaccinated. So you're in adults who are 35, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, you're going to see an extremely variable result of the vaccinations, no matter which one. Kids under the age of 10 who've only been eating gluten for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years are going to have a more consistent result to the vaccinations because they're still absorbing nutrients from their intestines, right? Whereas
Right.
middle-aged and seniors aren't. So you're going to have an extremely variable response to the vaccinations, and people are going to be scratching their heads. And I'm telling you on the front end, that's going to happen because everybody's still eating their gluten and not supplementing properly. And so the vaccinations are not going to be uniform in result. So you can expect that, and they're going to be throwing up their hands saying, we don't know why. There's some people that just don't respond to the vaccination. Now, you know people. Now, you think about it, Rebecca. You know people who have to go to the doctor once a month for an iron shot or a B12 shot because they're chronically anemic. That's because their intestines are dead.
One of them. I
Yeah,
used to be one of them.
Well, your intestines were dead. You couldn't absorb nutrients to help your bone marrow make, your white blood cells and your platelets and your red blood cells and your antibodies. But since you got off of gluten and got on your 90, now you can do that, can't you?
Yes.
And you've heard of people who have to go in once every 2 months to get a transfusion because they don't make enough platelets. They're bleeding under their skin and hemorrhaging when they have a bowel movement because they can't make enough platelets. And so they give them a transfusion every other month or so they get somebody else's platelets. Why don't they just get off of gluten, take the 90? They'll save an enormous amount of money in medical bills, reduce their risk of dying from all these terrible things that are preventable and defendable. Back to you.
So, Dr. Wallach, we've had a couple questions come in on the comments while you were going through that. And Robert wants to know, how does he know if he's being affected by the gluten that's within his home?
Oh, that's easy. That's extremely easy. Get the book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. Rare Earths Forbidden Cures in chapter 10 and 11 will tell you how to collect your hair, how to package it, where to ship it to. Don't forget to put the check in there because I won't run the test unless you have the check in there. And it'll tell you two things. Number one, there's two charts you're going to get as a result of the hair analysis. Number one, you're going to get a chart that shows you all the toxic materials you have in you. People say, oh yeah, I've got pollution, I've got toxicity and blah, blah. My doctor says I'm toxic. And well, you'll find out how much lead and arsenic and how much mercury and all that other kind of stuff you have in you, because that's one chart. Then the other chart, it has all these various bars for nutritional minerals. Now, what if all those bars for all the 60 nutritional minerals are below the bottom line? What does that tell you? You're not absorbing. That's right. So it doesn't show up in your hair, and so it doesn't show up in your bone marrow, and you're in trouble. You're not absorbing. I had one person call me the other day. Say, well, my doctor says I can't have any more calcium because my calcium level in my hair is so high. My hair analysis. I said, well, fire your doctor because your doctor is very ignorant. The reason why the calcium is so high in your hair analysis is because you are calcium deficient. Your parathyroid glands are pulling calcium out of your bones and overreacting, and your calcium rate is going up, so it's high in your hair because you are deficient in your diet. And so the calcium in your hair is coming from your bones, not from your diet. Do not stop taking calcium. Do not stop taking calcium. Do not stop taking the 90 essential nutrients. But fire your doctor because they're very ignorant. That's why I got to read the book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, and understand how to use a hair analysis properly.
And you can find Rare Earths Forbidden Cures at AskDocLive.com, or Dr. Wallach has his own website with all of his publications at DRJ Wallach, WALLACH.com. So you do have to get the Wallach spelled correctly in order to get to his website. And it's really interesting because things that you have just mentioned have really addressed some of the questions that I've gotten over the past week, regarding the parathyroid. Now, calcium needs cofactors to be able to be properly absorbed, correct?
Well, it needs vitamin D3, right? And it needs 159 other nutrients. These things are not, people say, which one is it? Which one is it? Well, if you just take one, you're not going to get the result. You need to take all of them. Now, I do have to tell you about 3 bits of information that are available. One for the Latinos is the book and the CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It's in Spanish. We're making a whole bunch of other new things in Spanish here to deal with the Latino community. The book, or excuse me, the CD Dead Doctors and Lies in 9 languages. It's in Mandarin, Cantonese, Japanese, Spanish, Portuguese for Brazil. It's in English, of course. And then, of course, we have Black Gene Lies. There's no genetic diseases in Black folks. And so we do have the book and the CD in English. We're beginning to translate that into Spanish also. And then Hell's Kitchen. I think Hell's Kitchen, the book and the CD, really is important for everybody because it goes back to the beginning. Why do we have problems like these pandemics? Now, this goes back to the Bible days, Rebecca. You know, they had the plagues go through. We call them pandemics today, but 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 years ago, they used to call them plagues, and they knew it was all caused by evil spirits. They knew it, okay, because they didn't know about bugs and germs and malnutrition and stuff like that, but they knew it was caused by evil spirits. Well, we know the exact cause. Okay, now let's go to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882 on Pearl Street in New York City on the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge. Thomas Edison and Jonathan Leaves pulled the switch on the first commercial electric generating plant. Within 20 years, okay, that was 1882, like 1900, we began to have all these big plagues go through and pandemics go through. The biggest one was 36 years later. It was called the Spanish flu, right? H1N1, the Spanish flu.
Yep.
And it killed 657,000 Americans in 1 year, killed 195,000 Americans in the month of October, 1918. That was a huge thing, okay? That's because our bone marrow was dead. Well, why was that? Well, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, we shut off our mineral supply. We went to electricity, no more wood ashes from the wood stove, the fireplace, the fire pit, okay, which we'd put in our gardens and mixed in our bread dough and all that kind of stuff, all those wood ashes, which our minerals came from. Because when you burnt the wood and the coal, the fossil fuels in the wood burnt, but the minerals didn't burn. We put those into the garden, and Grandma used to eat them when she had cravings. Pregnant women used to eat wood ashes when they had cravings. Okay, when we went to electricity, there was no more of that. It just went away. And so people began to eat, when they had hungry, they would eat potato chips and crackers and cookies and candy and gain weight, and colas and drink that and gain weight. Okay. And so then their bone marrows became dead. And so when the pandemics would come, they had no way to defend themselves. Okay. And so all this is in the book, in the CD, Hell's Kitchen. And then we've got the Manchurian prescription coming out here in a couple of weeks. And it's in English and Mandarin. And so if you've ever had any interest in dealing with China, the Chinatowns and all the big cities in America, the Chinese newspapers, the Chinese radio stations, Chinese TV stations, start talking to them now, because that new CD is coming out here pretty quick. The Manchurian prescription.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Dr. Wallach, we're going to go back to gluten for just a minute.
Okay.
So we had a question come up that has to do with, can the intestines, can the shag rug within the intestines be regenerated or brought back to life? And of course, they want to know what and how long does it take?
Okay, well, you're a perfect example of that. Okay, you did improve and repair, and now you're perfectly normal. And of course, I've done this with literally millions of people over the years, and so I kind of know the timeline. You're going to start seeing improvement within a couple of weeks, and I can tell because when people have these issues, they have bowel problems, they have irritable bowel syndrome, they have celiac disease, they have ulcerative colitis, they have Crohn's disease, they have eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea, and doctors say, oh, you have an autoimmune disease, you have lupus, and all this kind of stuff. And they'll give you cortisone and prednisone, you feel better, but then you die, okay? But if you get off of gluten, start living like an Asian, live on rice and sweet potatoes and beans and stuff like that, salads and vegetables. You can have fish and you can have poultry and red meat, but nothing fried, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown rhinos, no sugar. Take your 90 essential nutrients. Within 2 weeks, your skin problems begin to go away. Your bowel problems go away. Within a month, your skin and bowel problems are all gone. And within 2 months' time, your villi are like 50% back. Within 3 months' time, they're all back. Now, I have people, now you've heard of people on dialysis, right?
Oh yeah, my
Now,
sister was
people,
one of them.
yeah, well, people on dialysis, I get people, Rebecca, who have not urinated. They have not urinated. They have not urinated in 10 years.
I can't
Okay.
imagine.
Well, they're on dialysis 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Now, they've been on dialysis for a total of 25 years because they didn't want to get a kidney transplant. They didn't want to risk the surgery. So we get them on the 90 essential nutrients. We throw in the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, which help support healthy blood pressure and blood flow through blocked arteries. Within 2 weeks' time, people who've been on dialysis 6 days a week for 10 years because they haven't urinated in 10 years start urinating, and they drop them down to dialysis 3 days a week instead of 6. In 2 more weeks, they're totally off of dialysis. So in 4 weeks' time, they're totally off of dialysis after 25 years of being on dialysis and 10 years of being on dialysis for 6 days a week because they haven't urinated in 10 years. The body has an enormous capacity to repair itself. We've been given the machinery and the equipment to repair ourselves, but you need the raw materials. Well, if you're eating gluten, you're eating oatmeal for breakfast and having spaghetti 3 nights a week at the spaghetti factory, and you eat lunch every day at the Mexican restaurants with the flour tortillas, and you're drinking beer every weekend made from wheat. Guess what? You're doomed.
You're destroying the villi within your intestines.
Yeah, I'll give you one more example. This is my favorite example. Let's look at 2 groups of medical doctors in the United States. These are medical doctors in the United States. One group, the emergency room doctors. Now, this is from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. These are their numbers, not mine. The Center for Disease Control says that emergency room doctors and trauma doctors in the emergency rooms, their average lifespan is 57.
57.
57.
Okay. That's not very old.
No, gynecologists and OBGYNs, their average lifespan is 76. They live almost 20 years longer than the trauma doctors. Is that a genetic thing? No. So what's going on here? Well, 2 things are happening. Number one, the trauma doctors, they're working, getting crashes and bleeding and all this kind of stuff. And they get off at work at 2 a.m. and they'll stop by an all-night restaurant and have some pancakes and waffles. They'll go home and have a shot of whiskey before they go to bed, all made from wheat, butter, and oats. They don't take any vitamins and minerals. I eat well. I don't need to supplement. I can get everything I need just by eating well. It's like putting dirt from Texas in your car instead of oil. Okay. Well, there's bound to be some oil in there. That's dirt from Texas. That's how stupid that is. Whereas the OBGYNs and the gynecologists, guess what, Rebecca? They're getting free samples of prenatal vitamins. And instead of giving it to their patients, they're taking them themselves. That's why they live 20 years longer than the trauma doctors who live on wheat, butter, and oats and no vitamins and minerals. Got it?
Right.
It adds
Yep,
20
absolutely.
to 25 years to your life. Will add 20 to 25 and maybe even 50 healthful years to your life for the cost of a cup of coffee a day.
Yeah. And that's quality coffee. That's not, that's not the cheap, tasteless stuff. But Dr. Wallach, it's amazing how when you take the gluten out, you allow your intestines the ability to be able to absorb and wake up that villi again, uncoat it, and then have all that absorption service.
That's correct.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I thought because I was buying non-GMO organic wheat berries, grinding my own flour, making everything from scratch, I thought I was doing the right thing.
Well, from the standpoint of pollution, you were. When you have something that's non-GMO, and that's why they came out with that, because people were afraid of sprays and all these chemicals being put on the land and the crops and everything. And so they went to the non-GMO stuff, okay, the organic stuff, which is a good thing. But they forgot you still can't eat wheat, barley, rye, and oats, because organic wheat, barley, rye, and oats still has gluten in it, still has the pro-inflammatory cytokines, which destroy your villi and your intestines.
Dr. Wallach, we need to make a new food pyramid, because they're teaching us that it's all those grains that are good for us, and that is what's destroying us. That's
Well,
right.
that's why we
Hell's
came up with
Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. A kitchen can be a place of hell or heaven, depending on what you do in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's why we came up with that title. And of course, the CD came out in 2003. The book came out in 2005. And why did the book and the CD come out in 2003, 2005? Because the Spanish flu was in 1918, but then came SARS and MERS in 2003. It was another pandemic, SARS and MERS, H1N1.
Right.
It was just a different version of the Spanish flu, and it was killing people right, left, and center, and they didn't know what to do about it. So that's when we really started digging in and doing the investigation. We went all the way back to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, when Thomas Edison and Jonathan Leaves pulled the switch for the first commercial electric generating plant. And within 20 years, we had 20 to 40 new diseases, all of which doctors said, well, they've got to be genetic. They're genetic diseases. We've never seen them before. No, they were just simple nutritional deficiency diseases, which we had discovered in animals 100 years earlier. So I knew what to do right away, because my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure on my 20,000 autopsies. And people can still get those in the hardbound textbook covers. You go to Siri or Amazon and say, are there any of Dr. Wallach's book, Diseases of Exotic Animals, that represent 17,000 and some change of over 454 species of zoo animals and 3,000 human beings, 20,000 autopsies. It was given the title of Diseases of Exotic Animals. It's in the Smithsonian Institute. Ask Siri or Amazon if any of those books are available. It started out, Rebecca, at 5,000 pages of autopsies, 20,000 autopsies. They said that's too much, so they edited it down for all their editorial experts. W.B. Saunders, biggest medical publishing textbook company in the world, they edited it down without changing any of the meanings to 1,200 pages. So the final book was 1,200 pages. You know, it's like that
That's
thick.
still a thick book.
And hardcover. And so here's what Siri and Amazon are going to tell you. There'll be 4, 6, 8, 10 available that are used, beat up, covers ripped off, dogs have peed on them, but they're available. A lot of writing in the margins and so forth. They'll run from $4,500 to $6,000 each. In good condition, they'll run from $6,000 to $8,000 each. In exceptionally good condition, they'll run from $8,000 to $12,000 each. Brand new, still in the box, in the wrapper, never been opened, will sell for $25,000 to $35,000 each. They published 30,000 of them in 1983 when they first came out. They were sold in 6 months at $25,000 each.
It's a treasure.
Yeah, it's a national treasure in the Smithsonian Institute. And so I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because that's how much the medical population, the medical industry, knew how important that information was, and they were willing to spend that kind of money. So every hospital got one or more of those books. Every medical library and every medical school got one or more of those books. Every medical office, every medical clinic got one or more of those books. And they sold them all in 3 months. They reprinted them again, another 30,000 copies, and sold them in another 3 months for $25,000 each.
So now, Dr. Wallach, you were hands-on when it came to these pathology reports.
Oh yeah, no, I
And
did the autopsies.
Putting all the data together.
Yeah,
And
just like Dr. Milan and I, when we did those 1,700 autopsies on those kids in China, she and I did those autopsies, 1,700. And the results is what got rid of cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and crib death.
Yeah. So it's not just scrubbing data. It's actually getting the data himself. So in my previous life, I was a statistical analyst. And that
So
was
you
one thing that
understand.
I refused to scrub the data. I would show it like it was. And if they didn't like it, they needed to make changes in their process. And that's exactly what we're doing here too, Dr. Wallach. If you don't like what's going on in your body, you've got to make changes. Removing gluten. I mean, you take away a lot of the processed foods and it makes it pretty easy to remove gluten from your diet, Dr. Wallach.
Well, here's another piece that goes along with this. This is the scariest piece. With the exception of antibiotics, there are no prescription drugs that cure anything.
That's right.
You know, antibiotics will kill primarily, you know, like penicillin will kill staphylococcus, streptococcus, and you got other antibiotics will kill E. coli and that kind of stuff. But all other drugs are they're only meant to relieve symptoms. So the medical doctor can milk your insurance policy for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. When you go to the doctor, he says, okay, I got to give you 3 drugs here for your arthritis. The pain will go away very quickly. But you know, in a couple of years down the line, we may have to do some surgeries on it. Be $50,000 for each knee. But in the meantime, we can get rid of all your pain and discomfort. You'll be able to walk and so forth. And it won't cost you anything because your insurance will cover it. The question you need to ask the doctor before you enter into that program with the doctor, and instead of trying ours first, how many kids do you have in college and when are the tuitions due?
Yeah, that's a sad question to have to consider, isn't it? Whenever you're
Yes.
dealing with your own health yeah. Oh, yeah.
Leaves you speechless.
It does. It really does. And so we've had a couple questions here.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prevent arthritis? How
Uh-oh.
do you prevent dementia? Paying attention. Been talking about it all morning.
Okay, arthritis, very easy. What you got to do for all things, start now. Nobody in America should be eating wheat, bran, rye, and oats. Nobody in the world should be eating wheat, bran, rye, and oats. We should all be eating rice, sweet potatoes, millet, buckwheat, that kind of stuff, beans, okay, like the Polynesians and the Asians. You're going to get the best result. Then you need to supplement with the 90 essential nutrients. Okay, I take the big hammer out of our toolbox. I take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. That's the biggest hammer we have in our toolbox. I only weigh 142, but I take enough for a 200-pound man. I take a full dose of thing twice a day. And then we have MSM, which is a very specific product to deal with cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, which includes your skin and your arteries and your veins. And I always ask people, and you mentioned this when we first came on, I always like to look at them. Do they have gray hair? Do they have varicose veins in their legs? The varicose veins and the white hair are the same, caused by the same deficiency as is causing aneurysms, ruptured aneurysms. The same deficiency that causes wrinkles in your skin. You know, in a couple of months, I'll be 82 years old here. Most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me. They don't think I'm 82. I want you to think of Michael Jackson. You ever hear of Michael Jackson? Well, he was Snow White. He's a black fella. And when he was a kid, he was a very dark black kid. But when he got to be famous into his singing and dancing and entertaining, he's a wonderful man. By the time he was in his 20s, he was Snow White. Could not make skin color anymore. His hair was Snow White, so he shaved his head and wear wigs. Okay, he wore long sleeves. You never saw his hands bare. His hands always were in gloves with jewels on them. He was famous for his bejeweled gloves. He'd wear turtlenecks. He wore garish makeup all over his face, so you couldn't tell what his real skin color was. He died at 51 from a ruptured aneurysm. Now, if the doctors would have done the right thing for him when he first started losing, he had vitiligo and first started losing his skin color, get him on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, get him off all the gluten so he could absorb nutrients, get him on the MSM, vitamin D3, and Michael Jackson would still be alive today singing and dancing.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we can do on our own, folks. We don't have to wait for a doctor to try to give us a prescription. We just need to pay attention to our bodies. We need to be empowered. We need to look at food as medicine. And it's the most natural way to go. And Hell's Kitchen. That is an amazing book. I've got it right back here. Also, Black Gene Lies. You know, it's Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Got that one there too. I've actually sent Black Gene Lies to some of my family members. And You know
Yeah,
that
you're giving them the gift of life when you give them those books and CDs. You're giving them 25 to 50 extra years of healthy life. I mean, is that a gift?
I think so. And it's not just a one-time gift. It's one that keeps on giving, keeps on giving.
Generation after
So
generation.
that's right. Generation after generation.
Okay, I think Rebecca, you're having some audio issues there. So, and I wasn't current on the question, but let's go to Isaiah C., who has their hand raised up. And before we ask that question, we're gonna ask you to unmute yourself. And just a note to everyone asking questions, please unmute yourself when asked to unmute. And be available because Doc may have more questions for you and he likes to see you if you're on video. Those in the chat, please note all your questions concisely in one chat so we don't have to scroll down to find all the different pieces to your questions. Also be available and unmute yourself and listen attentively because all this will be available in a recorded file that you can get to on askdoclive.com, and at that time you can listen to it again, take notes, and slow down, rewind, forward, pass with everybody, friends, family. So while you're asking your question, please listen to Doc Wallach's valuable free consultation. Go ahead, Isaac.
Good morning, doctor.
Yes, sir.
I weigh 145 pounds, 5'8" high, age 71. At different level, but I can tell all at once, almost everything I eat give me a body pain. Almost everything at different level, but too much.
Okay, stop. Okay, stop. So when you eat, you get belly pain, you know, like pain in your stomach. Do you get pain in your elbows or just pain in your stomach? Where do you get pain?
No, nothing in the stomach. My muscles, joints, like
Okay. Okay, stop right there. I apologize. You said you weigh 170 pounds?
145.
I'm sorry, 145. Okay.
Yes.
Now, Isaac, do you have white, gray, or silver hair?
What is it?
Do you have white, gray, or silver hair?
Yes, just about my ears.
Okay. What about, do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs?
No, but they get, after the end of the day, they get swallowed right by my socks. They swallow, yeah.
Okay, so you have, your legs get swollen by your socks or your veins get swollen by your socks?
My leg, my
Okay.
feet.
Okay, now, do you have any back pain? Like, you know, lower back pain, sciatica?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
Yeah, the high blood pressure under control, take medication daily.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. So 2 things you need to do. Number 1 is change your diet. You need to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, rye, and oats. No sugar. You need to live like an Asian. What's your nationality? You have an accent. Where are you from?
Okay, my first 21 years in Mexico and 50 years here in California.
Okay, so you're Latino.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you got to get rid of all the bad stuff. Latinos are in trouble, not because they're Latinos, but because they eat wheat, barley, rye, and oats. You got to get rid of all that. Live like an Asian. Live on rice and sweet potatoes. If you're going to drink beer, it's got to be Japanese beer or Chinese beer made from rice. You cannot drink cerveza. You cannot have pan, which is bread in Spanish, right? You cannot have flour tortillas. You can have corn tortillas, but not flour tortillas, right? And then at 145 pounds, all the issues you have, I would start out with 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month because you got high blood pressure and you got bone problems and muscle problems. You probably have other problems you don't even know about yourself because you have that white hair. You may have aneurysms in your brain and around your heart, which you could drop dead tomorrow from those kind of things like Michael Jackson. Okay, so none of the bad foods. Then I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get our MSM, get 2 bottles of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. That'll help rebuild connective tissue, and cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue in your blood vessels, arteries, veins, skin, and so forth. Then I also want you to take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day, be 2 bottles a month, and they will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. So say after a month on this program, see if you can reduce your blood pressure medication by 10% and maintain. You need to be taking your own blood pressure at least twice a week and recording that. And if your blood pressure begins to drop even more, okay, you can begin to reduce your medication. Don't cold turkey off your medication for your blood pressure, but reduce it slowly based on the numbers you get. And you should be taking your own blood pressure twice a week. Also, if you don't have diabetes yet, you want to be get one of those test strips a month. It's $1.50 for a test strip. You don't need a doctor to tell if you have diabetes or not. You can get the test strips for your urine, or you get your test strip for your blood. Test yourself once a month, make sure your blood sugar is okay, because diabetes is very high rate in Latinos and Native Americans, okay, the indigenous peoples. So give us a call, because you're going to have a great testimony. You are going to have a great result here, Isaac. And vaya con Dios, go with God.
Thank you very much, doctor.
Thank you, Isaiah. Dr. Wallach, I have a quick question
Yes.
that has to do with diet. Is it healthy to remove meats from your diet and have either a vegan or a vegetarian diet?
No, it's not healthy to be a vegan or a vegetarian, and here's why. Nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. They occur in veins like coal. They occur in veins like chocolate and chocolate ripple ice cream. Plants only need 3 elements from the soil to make good seeds for the next generation. Everything else they need, they can make from carbon dioxide in the air, but they don't get the minerals. If you look at commercial fertilizers, they only have 3 nutrients in it: NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, because farmers get paid by tons and bushels per acre. They do not get paid by the nutritional value of the food that they grow, the crops they grow. Well, what if they give those crops to their cows and their sheep and their pigs and their chickens? Well, guess what? They give them vitamins and minerals on top of the food they grow. But they're just giving you the crops, okay, because they get paid by tons and bushels. And I learned that when I was 9 years old. And that's why I've been doing this since I was 9, because I figured that out when I was 9. Why are we giving all those animals? We're eating the same food they are, but we're giving them vitamins and minerals, which we're not taking. But we were getting the wood ashes from the stove until I was 9. When I was 9, okay, that's when we got electricity. Suddenly now everybody's getting sick. So that's how I learned all this when I was 9 years old.
And, you know, it makes me wonder, Dr. Wallach, we have these pandemics, you know, and people are dying from it. For me, I would think that, you know, heart disease, neurological diseases, cognitive diseases, I mean, could they be considered part of a pandemic in themselves?
Well, they are, and they tend to be, you know, different countries, they have different disease patterns based on the soil pattern of their minerals, okay, and their diet and how they cook and all this, that, and the other. And that's why, again, you know, I'll give you a quick rundown. When you look at the per 100,000 deaths, okay, or excuse me, per 100,000 cases in the various places in the world of the pandemic we're going on right now, the indigenous peoples, the Native Americans in America, there's 133 dead per 100,000 cases. Blacks, there's 123, actually 124, because 123.7. Polynesians, you know, Hawaiians and people from the various other Polynesian islands are 90.4. Latinos are 86.7, essentially 87. Whites are 75.7, 76, and Asians are 54. So why do Asians have such a low rate of deaths from the pandemic? And they're living in the same place, but they're all eating differently.
It's the diet. For
It's
sure.
the diet. Yeah, see, they're all living in America, okay, but it's the diet. And so, again, when you've done 32,000 autopsies with your own hands, you begin to see things. Now, if you count all the other autopsies I've done just by reading the report and looking at the slides, didn't have my hands in all the blood and guts, but I still did an autopsy with the slides and looking at the report from the guy who did the autopsy and so forth and reading the history. So I did everything except get blood all over myself. But if you look at those, I've done 50,000 autopsies because I've read so many of those, when I'm learning about the ones that I'm doing.
Right.
Okay. But 32,000 autopsies with these hands. Okay. And I'm not smarter than anybody else, but I'm more experienced than most.
Well, and you pay attention.
Well, I am a good observer. That's the one thing that I will claim. I'm a good observer. I did letter in wrestling in junior high, high school, and the University of Missouri. I was a wrestler. I didn't like getting punched, so I didn't go into boxing. So I went into wrestling. And I played football, and I lettered in football in junior high and high school, but I only weighed 110 pounds, so they wouldn't let me play football in the University of Missouri, but they did let me wrestle.
Well, and something that I want to point out, Dr. Wallach, is you have done so much in your career, and they were wanting to institutionalize you at 9 years old for
Yes.
another thing that could be considered a pandemic that's going on right now.
Yeah.
That has to do with conditions of the brain. I'm trying to be,
Autism. It was
Thank
autism.
you can say it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
they didn't have a name. They didn't have a name for it back then, but they wanted to institutionalize me for the rest of my life. And I was only 9 years old. And that's when I sat down and I kind of figured things out. Okay, wait a minute. Why am I having these problems and the chickens aren't having these problems? Why am I having these problems and the calves aren't having these problems? Why am I having these problems and the pigs aren't having the problems? And I figured it out. We're eating all the same thing, except they're getting vitamins and minerals and I'm not. So I started taking the vitamins and minerals. In 3 days' time, I was cured. In 3 days, I was cured after 5 years of being a mess. 20 doctors.
All right, folks. So if you know anybody that has, it doesn't have to be a young child. I mean, I know people who are now in college. We got them on a program. They weren't able to function through high school and were looking at living with mom and dad the rest of their lives. And now they're doing full rides of college, getting ready to graduate and functioning like quote unquote normal. I don't want to be normal, but quote unquote normal person. So it has to do with diet. And Dr. Wallach, I know it seems so simple. People don't believe it, but it is.
Well, the reason why they don't believe it is their doctors keep telling them, oh, don't waste your money on vitamins, minerals, just eat well, you get everything you need. Well, doctors are saying that because they know if you take the vitamins and minerals, they won't be able to pay for their kids' college. They want you to keep coming to them. So they tell you not to eat the stuff that will keep you well. Don't do that. Just eat well. Don't waste your money on vitamins and minerals. Any doctor who says that should be put in jail as a serial killer, spelled C-E-R-E-A-L.
Well, we need to introduce them to the longevity business, Dr. Wallach.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're growing. Well, right now we're growing like crazy because people are being laid off. Okay. And people need our help, not only our products, but they need the income streams. And here's the beautiful thing about this. If you become one of our preferred customers and our associates, okay, you get the wholesale pricing. If you get on auto ship, I will pay the shipping if you get on auto ship. Okay, and that's very good because the liquids are very heavy, so they're expensive to ship. I will pay the shipping if you get on auto ship. And then if you become one of our associates, one of our business builders, here's to me the best part. It costs you $50 to become a distributor. It's a tax deductible $50. You have to renew your franchise with us every year for $50. It's all tax deductible. Better than that, every time you sign up for your $50, the first time and the second time, the 5th time, the 20th time, the 100th time, every time you sign up for us for $50, I will give you $500 free worth of business support materials.
The website alone, Dr. Wallach. I mean, we have different websites to utilize. We've got an app. All of those things cost money to produce, and it's only costing us $50 a month, or year, not month, year. So yeah, when it comes to the shipping, I tried to ship a bottle of our minerals 100 miles just because I didn't have time to run it over there. They were charging $18. Now,
I pay the
that's
shipping
for a
if you
bottle
get
of
an auto
minerals.
ship. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. So it's we're talking about doctors, you know, we've got a business. For those that are listening, and Dr. Wallach, I haven't told you this yet, but we have a group of doctors that are putting together Doctors for Doc Wallach.
Woo!
So,
Thank
and I
you.
know a couple of them are on the line here today with us. So I'm excited to be able to help and support that as well, because there is so much information out there that is not correct. We want to make sure that everybody knows how simple it is to obtain, maintain, prevent, you know, a lot of the things that are going on. So I'm just honored to be able to help support that, and you, Dr. Wallach. And I want to thank everybody for joining us with Ask Doc Live. Again, we're going to be hitting some more of our hands that are raised, the questions that are in the comments. And if you hear anything that really sparks your interest in wanting to try these products, get with the person that invited you to this call. If you heard about this call through an email, do a reply to that email, and you'll be getting with the person that shared this call with you. So Dr. Wallach, let's go to Donna, who has her hand up. We've got about 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Donna, go ahead. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Okay. Good
Hi.
morning, Dr. Wallach. Thanks for being there.
Thank you.
I'm hoping that you can shed some light on this. I know you can. We have several products that are very similar and similar in name. And I'm wondering if you could shed some light on the differences, such as Ultimate Daily versus Ultimate Daily Classic versus Ultimate Daily Liquid. And then, of course, the BTT, there's tabs, liquid powders.
Okay, stop. That's a lot. Yeah, well, that's right there. Okay, well, let's start out with BTT 2.0 powder and liquid. Okay, it's our biggest hammer in the toolbox. Okay, it's our big multiple. When you have the BTT 2.0 tablets, they are an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. They do not replace. They're not interchangeable with the powder and the liquid. Then you have the Ultimate Daily Classic is a liquid multiple, and the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, or as the name implies, as a tablet, but it's very specific for supporting normal blood pressure when you have high blood pressure, and supporting blood flow through blocked arteries in your brain and your coronary arteries and the arteries in your kidneys and so forth. So the Ultimate Daily is a liquid multiple. The Ultimate Daily Classic is a tablet, and the liquid multiple is a kind of a multiple, as the name sounds. A lot of people like to take that liquid, but then the tablet is specifically to support, and it goes along. It's not meant to be taken by itself. The tablet's meant to be taken with a multiple. So you could take the Ultimate Classic and the Ultimate Daily Classic, okay? And you're not going to be duplicating, because one is specifically for maintaining proper blood pressure and blood flow through blocked arteries, and the other one's a multiple. Same way with the Ultimate, let's see, they're BTT 2.0 and the BTT tablets. The tablets are the anti-inflammatory, and also it supports the immune system, whereas the powder and the liquids are actually a multiple. And so you really need to kind of read the labels. You'll see they're really different products, even though the names are similar. And I kind of take them all. I take 90 different products a day. I take 90 different products a day. And of course, I've been doing this as long as I can remember, and I've been doing the gluten-free stuff as long as I can remember, for 73 years going on here. And you know, everything that the medical system has done, I shouldn't say everything, 99% of everything that the medical system has done has been incorrect. Okay. And that's why we have so much trouble over the years. They treat the symptoms as opposed to getting rid of the problem. And being a pathologist, I see the endpoint on the autopsy table. And so I always see what the endpoint problem is. And so I would deal with that problem as opposed to just the symptoms. Nobody should suffer from pain. Okay, and so we have topical pain relievers like CM cream and trauma oil, and the let's see here, we have the what's the one from the hemp? Oh, the hemp. Yeah, hemp FX, the Soothe. We have the Soothe. So we have, I don't know, 4 or 5 different things you can put on for pain relief. Nobody needs to suffer, but the doctors will give you a cortisone cream. Oh man, I love my doctor. I mean, I had so much pain in my fingers, I couldn't play the piano anymore. He gave me this cortisone cream and gave me an opioid shot. Man, in 3 minutes, I could play the piano. I love my doctor. But then a year down the line, you got to pay $50,000 for a knee replacement. Okay, if you do my thing, you'll never have to do the knee replacement because I'll rebuild the knee. And after a couple of weeks, you won't need the topical pain reliever because you don't have pain anymore because we've regrown the cartilage. And so that's the difference between what we do and what the standard medical system does. And of course, the medical system is built because of the insurance. Without insurance, nobody would keep doing what they're doing. But since insurance, well, insurance pays, what do I care? So insurance it was the death of American health. Health insurance was the death of American health.
Well,
Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So we are at the top of the hour. Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and take 5 minutes. I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Do not hang up. Do not go away. We will be right back. All right, as we are getting ready to get started, when Dr. Wallach gets back, I just want to thank everybody again for taking time out of your schedules and just, opening up your minds to the possibility that there is something better out there, because there is. Our bodies were not made of junk. They were not made of artificial chemicals. They were made from minerals. And what we support here is replacing those minerals in your diet through supplementation so that you know that you are getting what the body needs. And the way we know what the body needs is based on all of the autopsies and the pathology reports and all of the information that was gathered in Dr. Wallach's research to find what is actually going on in the bodies and what's missing when something negative is going on. So this program is here to support the idea of giving the body what it needs, the raw ingredients. And through AskDocLive.com, we provide those raw ingredients in our store for you. But if you were invited to this program by somebody that you know, they invited you because they love you, they appreciate you, they want to keep you around. So get with them and they might have a special way to help you get those products as well. So it looks like Dr. Wallach is almost ready to come back. And thank you everybody for your patience as you're sitting there with your hand raised. If you do not know how to raise your hand to ask a question, in the Zoom menu, if you tap or click on participants, then it will come up with the option to raise hand. And that is how you raise your hand. We do encourage you to please have your cameras on. Whenever you go to the doctor in a clinic, the doctor can see you. Well, our doctor wants to see you too. There's a lot of things that can be determined and said, and he needs that information to help you with his protocols that he's recommending today. So please, when it comes to your turn, we do request that you turn your camera on. Now, as soon as I get a thumbs up from Dr. Wallach, then we will go ahead and get started. All right, I got the thumbs up.
He's going to need to unmute himself.
Yep, absolutely.
How's that?
There we go. Now we can hear you.
Okay.
All right, so the first person that we're going to come to, which is the next person who, because we do go by order, the hands are raised, is you are on live.
Rebecca, you're
Okay,
breaking up.
sorry, I'm gonna step in here.
No, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay,
Just somebody got let in and then I got clicked on muted instead. So Fred, if you are available, go ahead and unmute yourself. I do not have, there you go. All right, you are on live. We can see you, we can hear you. Perfect. Go ahead and share with us what your question is, Fred.
Hi, doctor. I'm 59 years old. I
You
weigh
look very
200, 205. 5'8" is my height. So the problem that I'm having lately, I'm hungry all the time. My stomach's kind of bloating, like getting, big, like a pregnant woman. Not that big, but still. And I want to know if there's anything I can do.
Okay, so you're hungry all the time. You're bloating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now turn your head to the right or the left so I can see. The sun's on the side of your face. Yeah, you got gray hair.
Okay.
Yeah, you got gray hair.
A little.
Do you have, yeah, well, it's just like being pregnant. Either you is or you ain't. And the answer is yes, you have gray hair. Okay. You have varicose veins in your legs?
No.
Do you have hemorrhoids, which are varicose veins in a funny place?
No.
Okay. Do you have any skin problems? Any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No.
Okay. Do you have any bowel problems? Constipation, diarrhea, ulcerative colitis, celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome?
No.
Okay, but you do have bloating in your stomach and pain in your stomach. Any high blood pressure or diabetes?
I have diabetes that under medication, control. I don't have pain in my stomach. It's just my stomach's
Bloating.
getting bigger.
Yeah.
It's like.
Okay. Okay, so your diabetes is not under control. Your blood sugar is under control.
Yeah, I don't have diabetes. I'm sorry. High blood pressure, and that's under control.
Okay. Well, your high blood pressure is not under control. You just have it. Okay. All right.
Medication, yeah.
Yeah, you got it medicated. All right. So, and you weigh 205 pounds, 5'8". I'd like to see you weigh 180 maybe. Okay, so you need to lose about 25 pounds or so. And you'll lose the weight by getting rid of the bad foods. No bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats of any kind, absolutely no oils of any kind, no salad dressings, no cooking oils. I want you to go to our Savor division. We have all these safe salad dressings and things like that, and our sea salt and so on. I want you to go there, our Savor division. Then absolutely no gluten, no wheat, no brown rye oats. I want you to live like an Asian, live on rice and sweet potatoes and buckwheat and millet and stuff like that. Absolutely no wheat, brown rye, or oats of any kind. You cannot have one cheat day a month, one cheat meal a month. No, 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 no sugar. And then I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose, everything twice a day. There'll be a lot of some things. Don't just say, well, I'll just take, there's so many of these, I'll just take one a day and it'll last me 6 months. Don't do that because you'll die. You want to take the dosage based on the label, okay, as opposed to just taking one. And there's a reason why you weigh 205 pounds. So you need a full dose, everything twice a day, healthy brain and heart pack. I also want you to get our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I want you to get 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That'll support healthy blood pressure. And over time, you'll be able to slowly reduce your medication. Don't cold turkey off your medication, but do it by the numbers. And then I also want you to take our Ultimate Enzymes. Take 2 of those. That's 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Enzymes. Take 2, save 5 to 10 minutes for each meal with a couple ounces of water. And lastly, I want you to take our MSM, 3 of those twice a day. That's 1 bottle a month. And that's going to help rebuild connective tissue, scar tissue, It's going to rebuild blood vessel walls, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue. It'll build the walls of your intestines. And your hair color will come back. And that way you know you're absorbing. That's how you know you're absorbing, because that hair color will come back. You won't have that gray on the side of your hair anymore. Okay, call us every 2 weeks, Fred. You're going to have a great story. Your story will, and your testimony will help a lot of people.
Thank you, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Now let's go to another question that was brought here in the chat. And the question is it okay to take cod liver oil from bottle, or is it still bad because it's an oil? So what they're taking is, it says, is a top brand and unrefined.
Okay. Well, the problem is that, you know, was it stored in the warehouse over summertime at 120 degrees? Was it was it in the storeroom of the grocery store during the fall and during the winter time as they brought it out and so forth? Because oils oxidize, they turn into trans fats, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides. It's oxidized oils that cause plaque in your arteries, not cholesterol. Cholesterol does not cause plaque in your arteries. Cholesterol makes up 75% of your brain weight, makes up 95% of testosterone, 95% of estrogen. And so you want to be eating 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, and you want to stay away from oils. And unrefined oils are just as bad. It's kind of like saying, listen, I can shoot myself in the head. I'll be okay because it's a copper jacketed bullet. That's what you're saying when you have these unrefined oils. I can shoot myself in the head with a bullet because it's copper jacketed, no problem. Yeah, right. See how that works for you.
Yeah, we need copper, but not like that.
Not like that. And also the lead is covered by the copper. So just a lead bullet's more dangerous than a copper jacketed bullet? No, they'll both will kill you.
That's right. That's right. All right. So the next question that I have, Dr. Wallach, came in off of an email. And Kay is 184 pounds, 5'7", age is 54. And she has been very active. She's never had a weight problem before, but now she has thickening or a burning thick dry skin on the soles of her feet and fingers. She's told that it's eczema and is told to use a special cream. She never had it before she was 52 years old. She's got a fat flab stomach and has gained weight and feels like she's gaining daily, but she hasn't had any change in her diet. And the doctors are telling her it's just menopause and to go walking.
Okay.
She is a former road biker with resistance training, and she has absolutely no energy. So
I hear this story 1,000 times a month. Okay. She has a gluten problem. And people say, I've been eating oatmeal for 30 years. Why am I having trouble now? Because you've been eating oatmeal for 30 years. Because the damage to your intestines from oatmeal or wheat or barley or rye doesn't occur like switch off, switch on. Okay. It's drip, 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 drip over time. When you've been eating gluten, say for 10 years, you got 25% of your intestines dead. When you've been eating gluten for 20 years, you got 50% of your intestines dead. Been eating gluten for, say, 50 to 60 years, now you got 85, 90% of your intestines dead. Now you're starting to get clinical symptoms. Because even if you're supplementing, there's so much damage to your intestines after 30, 40, 50 years of eating gluten, you cannot absorb nutrition. And so this eczema is a classic example of a nutritional deficiency caused secondary to gluten. Also, this burning in the fingers and the toes. She could have osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the spinal cord, causing sciatica down in her feet and toes. And they also get it in their hands because the skull is squeezing the spinal cord. And so that's why we came out with the book, It's All in Your Head. Okay, because doctors never tell people, you know, you can get osteoporosis of the skull. It has nothing to do with age. Babies are born with osteoporosis of the skull. It used to be called Erb's palsy because Erb's thought it was a genetic disease. Well, they renamed it Wallach's palsy because they showed it's just simple osteoporosis of the skull, and you get on the nutrients and get away from the bad stuff so you can absorb efficiently, and it all goes away. Okay, so this gal here needs to get off all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats, no exceptions. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. Needs to live like an Asian, live on rice and sweet potatoes and millet and buckwheat and beans. And then she needs to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want her also to get on, let's see here, 3 of our MSM tablets twice a day. That's 1 bottle a month. I also want her to take, let's see here, she can take our hair, skin, and nails. She could take our hair, skin, and nails, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And if she wants to lose weight faster, she could go with 1 or 2 meals a day, our keto caramel shake or a keto caramel meal bar. But if she gets rid of all the bad foods, she'll start losing. But if she takes a keto caramel shake or meal bar twice a day, she'll lose a ½ pound to 2 pounds a day. And at 5'4", I'd like to see her weigh like 130. So she needs to lose about 50, 55, 60 pounds. And she will do that. And she needs to give us a call every couple of weeks and give us a status report, because she's going through what everybody goes through if they live on wheat, butter, and oats and listen to their doctor. Oh, don't take any vitamins, minerals, just get everything you need by eating well. And she thought exercise was the answer to a long, healthy life. Well, exercise without supplementation is suicide. There's actually a CD by that title available to you through Longevity, right? And through Wellness, drjwallach.com, drjwallach.com. Exercise without supplementation is suicide, okay? And dead athletes don't lie. I have to tell you, and you know this, Rebecca, but I'm going to say this for everybody else. When you take all professional sports combined, all the different sports combined, the average lifespan, now this is a Center for Disease Control. These are not my numbers, this is a Center for Disease Control. They say the average lifespan of professional athletes, when you take all sports combined, is 62, except for basketball players. They're unique. They're 51. Okay. And that's because they're living on Red Bull and Gatorade and exercising and sweating and eating well. Some of them make $1 million a game. Some of them make $10 million a game. But they still die at 51 or 62 because they're not supplementing properly and they're eating incorrectly, getting a lot of misinformation. And so I have helped so many professional athletes. Theo Ratliff, basketball player, he got a $35 million contract after they took his contracts away because he's breaking all his bones and all his joints are falling apart. And I rebuilt him in 90 days. And that's where we came up with Rebounder sports drink. Okay. She could use also our Rebounder sports drink instead of Gatorade and Red Bull. Use our sports drink. Rebound. It has 100 nutrients in it. And in the meantime, for the topical, for pain, she can use our, let's see here. We have the,
I like the CM cream.
CM cream. And we have the CM cream. We also have the Hemp FX Soothe, and we have the trauma oil. And you can mix them all up together if you want to and put them on. And so, I mean, you don't need to suffer, but you do have to supplement properly, and you do have to get rid of the bad foods so you can absorb.
So, Dr. Wallach, following that information that you just shared right there, getting off the bad foods, removing the sugars, especially when on a keto diet, I like the keto caramel bars. And for the shakes, we have chocolate, we have strawberry. I've lost 95 pounds, Dr. Wallach. And I've also lost, so
how tall are you?
I released, I'm 5'7".
No, you're a big girl.
Well, I was 5'8.5" before I broke my back. And they found that I had degenerative bone and disc disease in addition to the multiple compression fractures. So I did lose some inches height-wise, but following your protocols, getting the supplements into my body, it's amazing what the body can do. And because I had the broken back, I had limited mobility. I have no more pain, Dr. Wallach. And I lost that weight without extensive exercise. I now enjoy going up and down stairs. I now enjoy going on a hike. But when it comes to like strenuous, intentional exercise, I haven't done it.
Okay, how old are you now?
few months, I'm going to be 50.
Congratulations. Now, let's say you, without doing anything, with all this stuff going on, the odds are you wouldn't have lived to be 70 with all that bad stuff. By getting rid of all those bad issues, supplementing properly, getting on the right diet, there's no reason why you can't live to be 120 or 160 or 220. Okay. It's just, this is all possible. And it's one of those things where you're going to literally add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life because you've changed your diet, you've added the supplement program, and exercise is okay now as long as you're taking all the supplements. Mild exercise. You don't want to be boxing and playing football and stuff like that.
Well, I'll throw the football around with my boys,
Mm-hmm.
but I will also go dancing with my granddaughters.
All right.
I love that I can do it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing your testimony.
Dr. Wallach, 5 years ago, I was in such pain. I didn't want to live to 120. And now, bring it on.
Bring it on, because you want the great grandkids, right?
That's right. That's right. I've got a few years before the greats can even happen, but we're going to get there. All right. So let's go to Jean, who has been patiently waiting with her hand up. Jean, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Jean.
Hi, I have a friend, 74, 155 pounds, 5'7". She has Parkinson's with confusion, slow, short steps, of course, fear of falling, some incontinence, pain in her hips, so she doesn't do much walking. Her hair is gray. I don't really know much else except it's really giving her problems.
Okay. So there's a whole bunch of diseases that are actually the same disease, like Parkinson's disease, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, MS. They're all kind of the same disease, but different parts of the brain are affected. And so because different parts of the brain do different things, you get different symptoms. Okay. So what I'm going to share with you is for all of those brain diseases. At 155 pounds, she needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown oats, no sugar. She also needs to eat 3 eggs twice a day. These 3 eggs have to have soft yolks. I had 3 soft boiled eggs this morning for breakfast with my smoked salmon and my rice and my tomatoes and my cheese and all that kind of stuff, plus all my supplements. Okay, I've been doing it every morning for 73 years. So she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown oats, no sugar. 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs will not count. Okay. And then fried eggs will not count. Fried eggs will cause cancer and blocked arteries. Then she also needs to take, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose, everything twice a day. I want her also to take 3 of our de-stress capsules twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. D is in David -stress. 3 de-stress capsules twice a day. And then I want her to take 1 of our ultimate niacin plus tablets twice a day. That'll be 1 bottle a month. I want her also to take our Synaptive. I want her to take 3 of those 3 times a day. It'll be 3 bottles a month of our Synaptive. It gives your brain cells what they need to make the chemicals to talk to each other. Okay. I also want her to have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets for these sorts of things will help through circulation of the brain. Because a lot of times people will have blocked arteries in the brain. And they get all these symptoms and the doctors will give it a name, but they don't tell you they have blocked arteries in the brain. Okay. And because she has joint problems in her hip and so forth, and has gray hair, meaning she's deficient in certain nutrients, I want her also to have as MSM. She can have 3 of those twice a day. It'll be 1 bottle a month. That's going to help her rebuild the cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue and so forth. And of course, with each of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, she's going to get a bottle of our selenium with the 5 cofactors in there. Those cofactors are what's missing when people get gray hair. It's what's missing when they get the cartilage problems and ligament problems and tendon problems. So it's imperative that she take 3 of our selenium twice a day. That'll be easy because 1 bottle of our selenium comes with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. But it's not just the selenium, it's the cofactors. There's 5 cofactors in there we've added to deal with these things because all those diseases tend to run together. And these things, I've seen these sorts of issues go away in weeks. Certainly within a month or so, you should see some really significant recognizable benefit. And as long as she stays on the program, it'll all stay away. If she goes back to her old ways, in 6 months' time, she'll be back where she was before. This is a lifetime deal. This is not just for a couple of weeks, okay?
All right, thank you very much.
Awesome.
You
Thank
bet.
you, Jean. Next, we have Annie. Annie, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Annie, get your gun. Get your
Yep,
gun.
that's it. I'm back. Let's see. I ask about the arthritis. I am on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. This is my 3rd month. And on the healthy, let's see, I have it right here. So I'm taking the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the selenium, the EFA. One question. I have the ultimate EFA, but I also have the
Well, if you have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, you're going to get the EFAs and the EFA pluses.
right. Why is there 2? Because there's different, I'm sure.
Because they're different. That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And then I'm also taking the selenium 3 a day, 1 in the morning.
No, you need to take 3 twice a day because you still have some gray hair.
Take 1 capsule 3 times daily.
Well, that's per 100 pounds of body weight.
Okay.
How much do you weigh now?
130.
Okay, so I'd go with 3 twice a day until all your natural hair color comes back.
3 twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
See, when people, they take their temperature to see if they have an infection, that's only a small piece of the problem. You need to look at your hair color. Do you have varicose veins or spider veins in your legs?
yes, a few.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay, do you have hemorrhoids, which are varicose veins in a funny place?
Yes.
Okay, that's all. I know that just by looking at you. I can speak to an audience of 1,000 people and I see, 200 people with snow white hair. I already know they got varicose veins in their legs. I know they have hemorrhoids. I know they have aneurysms. I know they have all these other problems. And I'm 30 feet away from them because they got gray hair. It's like, putting a thermometer in your mouth. You have a temperature. Okay, I know you have an infection, even though I haven't grown any bugs from a throat swab, right? But I know you have an infection because you have a fever. You got the principle here? You have to look at these early warning signals. And let's see here. That's what this stuff is for. That's what this stuff is for.
Okay.
Okay. And you have to use these early warning signals before you die. There's no sense to say, well, yeah, she had this problem, had a ruptured aneurysm like Michael Jackson. Well, he was telling his doctors a story for 41 years because he lost all his skin color, lost his hair color. He got varicose veins. He got all these problems. And then he died of a ruptured aneurysm. Oh, it was a big surprise. Well, it was no surprise to me because he had all those deficiencies signals going on for years and years and years and years. And the doctors were just, oh, wear gloves so nobody sees your white hands.
That doesn't sound like a solution, Dr. Wallach.
I'm confused on what to take.
No, I told you what to take. I just told you what to take.
But the directions on your bottle on one is take 1 capsule 3 times daily.
Per 100 pounds of body weight.
Per 100, okay.
Those directions won't work for a 300-pound or a 500-pound person or somebody who weighs 140.
Okay.
You need to treat yourself like a 200-pound person.
Okay. And how about arthritis? You said to add MSM for arthritis?
That's correct. Because it will help rebuild cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue.
And how much do that should I take?
3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. So it wouldn't hurt to get 2 bottles a month of that. So you can take 3 times a day.
Okay.
See, now coloring your hair and wearing a black wig or a red-headed wig wouldn't count.
Right.
You take this stuff, your hair color will come back. Then
Okay.
you know you're absorbing properly and everything's healing on the inside because your external signal, your early warning signal of the gray hair and your varicose veins are going away and your hemorrhoids are going away. You know the inside is getting better also.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Awesome. All right. Now, I just want everybody to know that if you have never ordered before, there was nobody that invited you to this call. We do have a call team that is standing by at 855-949-3377, or you can go to our askdoclive.com. We do have a store there. And if you're not sure what you need to take, we do have a contact us option there where you can email us with your questions and we can get back with you with a protocol that would be a best fit for you based on Dr. Wallach's recommendations. So Dr. Wallach, next I have a comment here and it says, my mother at 93 is having constant bladder infections. They put her on antibiotics and even a catheter. The doctor says her bladder looks raw. What can I tell her to do? She is not overweight and since COVID, not active, where last year she was playing 18 holes of golf 3 times a week.
Did they say how much she weighed? Not being overweight isn't a weight.
It does not say. So let's go
Okay.
based on 100 pounds.
Okay. At 93 years old, the odds are she's shrunk a little bit. She's got osteoporosis. Okay. And I'd suspect that she has some sciatica, some low back stuff. And a lot of times when doctors are saying you got a UTI, that's because you have pain on urination. You might even wet your pants because you can't control your bladder, kind of thing. And these things are all due to the spinal nerves being squeezed to control your bladder. And so doctors will just treat you for a bladder infection because they get to milk your insurance policy. Okay. And so per 100 pounds of body weight, well, first of all, she's got to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rye, oats. She needs to live like an Asian, right? No sugar. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, I want her to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. I want her to have 3 of the MSM twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. So that's 1 bottle a month of the MSM. I want her to take vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month per 100 pounds of body weight. I also want her to have the collagen, either our collagen peptides, 2 servings a day, or our glucogel, either the capsules or the liquid, 2 servings a day. You know, one of those 3, or you can mix and match them. So she's having at least 2 servings a day of a collagen. Okay. And then we also would have something like our Fucoid Z. I want her to have 3 of those twice a day. Anti-inflammatory, supports the immune system. And because she's 93 years old and all this pandemic going on here, she's got these pre-existing conditions. I'm afraid for her bone marrow and all that kind of stuff. So I also want her to take our killer biotic. I want her to have 2 doses of that a day to help her immune system, support her immune system, and actually has the ability to dampen down viruses and bacteria and fungus and things. And of course, she needs to use our hand sanitizer, okay, appropriately many times a day. Wouldn't hurt for her to take 2 droppers full of I take 2 droppers full of our colloidal silver in my throat twice, a half hour before breakfast, a half hour before lunch, half hour before dinner, and at bedtime every day to kill the bugs. And because she's that age group and she's got all these pre-existing conditions going on, and doctors are just treating her for an infection. You got to be kidding me. I think I have a CD out called "Somebody Needs to Go to Jail" for that kind of behavior.
And that colloidal silver is amazing.
Yes.
I use it.
And of course,
on
again,
everything.
I'm going to be 82 years old in a couple of months, not even a couple of months now, because it's the new year. And most people don't realize it, but when you're born, that is not your age. When you're born, you're already 9 months old.
I was 10.
You were 10 months old, okay? You were 10 months old when you were born, okay? And so 2 more months, birth plus 2 months, you're already a year old.
Right.
So when you have your first birthday, okay, that's your birth date, you're already, your first birth date plus 3 months, you're already 2 years old. I mean, doctors can't even get your birth correct. Birth is just an event along the way. It's not when you started. birth is just an event along the way. And the Chinese figured that out thousands of years ago. And so they always say when you're born, you're already a year old.
All right. So I only have 2 months before I'm 50.
Woo!
And I love it. I'm not afraid to say what my age is. I used to be, but not anymore.
No, because right now you only look like you're 35.
Well, thank you. You are my favorite doctor. So let's go to the next hand up. So forgive me. I believe it's John and Bonnie. You are on live with Dr. Wallach. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Can you get it?
Okay, I see from the eyebrows up.
She's
You
trying.
need,
She's
you need
trying.
to lower,
There we
yeah,
go.
got to lower the camera. There we go. Yeah, okay. I see a lot of gray, white, and silver hair, so I already know what's going on.
That's dyed, and it's blonde.
All I see is
All
your
right.
thumb.
So we can see you. We can hear you. Go ahead. And what would you like to ask Dr. Wallach?
I have sarcoidosis in my lungs and in my heart.
Okay. Do you have any high blood pressure?
I'm sorry?
High blood pressure?
No, sir.
Any diabetes?
No, sir.
Any arthritis?
Not really.
How much have you shrunk in height since you were 20?
An inch,
Okay. And how much do you weigh?
165,
Okay. How tall are you?
5'6".
Okay. And I apologize. What's your age?
68, almost
Oh.
69.
Okay. Okay. Now, do you color your hair?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs?
No.
Do you have any constipation or diarrhea?
Some.
Okay. So you have some bowel issues. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any skin issues? Any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No.
Do you have a dog?
Yes.
Okay. I was just testing you. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Yeah, you have a lot of dangerous things going on here. And again, because of this pandemic thing, you're at high risk here with all these pre-existing conditions, which are all nutritional deficiency diseases. So at 165 pounds, I want you to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, inos, no sugar. And then I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I also want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. That's going to help you with your joints, your disc between your vertebrae, your skin, your blood vessel walls, in your veins and your arteries. I'm worried about aneurysms. Sarcoidosis means you got scar tissue in the walls of your stomach, in the walls of your intestines. You can have it in your muscles. You can have it in your bones. You can have it in your disc. You can have it every place. Okay. It's a replacing of functioning tissue with scar tissue is what that means. Okay. And so then I also want you to have our collagen. I want you to have 3 doses of our collagen a day. It could be all 3 from any one of or a mixture of our collagen peptides, our glucogel capsules, and our glucogel liquid. I also want you to take 3 of our vitamin D3 capsules or our spray, 3 spritzes or 3 capsules 3 times a day. And let's see, where do you live? I didn't get that right.
Wyoming.
Okay, yeah, Wyoming. Okay. Yeah, you need 3 of our vitamin D3 servings a day, either the 3 capsules 3 times a day or 3 spritzes of our citrus D3 sprays 3 times a day. And no blood pressure issues, no diabetes.
No, sir.
Okay, good. And then any bloating or belching or burping?
Party.
Okay, so you have gas? Bowel problems?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, it won't hurt to take our ultimate enzymes. Go ahead and take 2 or 3 of those, say 5 to 10 minutes for each meal, a couple ounces of water. That'll be 2 bottles a month of our ultimate enzymes. And our ultimate enzymes has like 5 different things in it. It has enzymes, which everybody's enzymes have. But we also have in there bile salts from bovine, bile salts, and that's going to help you absorb good stuff, and it's going to help you a lot with this gas problem you have, as is getting rid of all the other bad stuff. Call us every couple of weeks, if you will, and give us a report on, kind of write down what things are getting better and so forth, your weight and so on, because your testimony is going to help a lot of people, because people your age is very typical Americans, and you're at high risk for the pandemic to get you. Okay, you're at higher risk, and you can go and nothing's happening, and suddenly one day you wake up, you get a high fever, you go to the doctor, says, oh, you got that pandemic. They put you in there, and you take have you had the vaccine yet?
No, sir.
Okay, well, people your age with all your various problems are going to have a variable response to the vaccination. It's not going to be bad. The vaccination is not going to kill you. My concern is you're not going to get 100% value of the vaccination, because if you cannot absorb the nutrients for your bone marrow to make the white blood cells and the antibodies and the red blood cells and the platelets, you're in trouble. Now, do you have to go to a doctor once a month for an iron or B12 shot?
I don't.
Okay, good. Are you anemic?
I don't know. I
Well-
take B vitamin.
Okay, well, that's not a bad thing, but it's only a small portion. Remember, that's only 5 of 160 nutrients you need.
Correct.
Okay, so you're kind of thinking correctly, but you need to be a little, more aggressive. Give us a call every couple of weeks. We'll walk you through this.
And when you say give you a call, who do you call?
Do just exactly what you did here. Get back with us in 2 weeks.
I'm with you. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right,
Okay.
thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Wallach,
Mm-hmm.
we have Keith, sweet little petite lady, 66 years old. She's 4'8", 81 pounds. She's experiencing heaviness in the right arm and leg, and
I
has
apologize.
lost
What
memory.
was her name?
Keith. Keith.
Keith?
Keith. P-E-A-C-E. Peace, love, and joy.
Oh, Keith. Oh, peace. Peace. Okay. I kept thinking it was a K. Okay, peace. Okay. And
she's lost memory and difficulty in speech sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes.
mm-hmm. Did she say anything about high blood pressure, diabetes?
They do not say in this comment.
Did they say anything about arthritis?
They do not say.
Okay. So she's 5'8", 4'8",
No, she's 4'8".
4'8", 81 pounds. Okay, so that's about right. 66 years old. But she needs to do some things here. She needs to get rid of all the bad foods, obviously. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, and oats, no sugar. And then she needs to I'd have her take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, get another bottle of R-selenium with the 5 cofactors in it, so she can take 3 of those twice a day and a half a dose of everything else twice a day. I also want her to have our de-stress capsules, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That's going to help with memory, as is the Ultimate Niacin Plus, 1 of those twice a day. I also want her to take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I want her to take 3 of those twice a day. Or she could take 2, 2, and 2 for a total of 6 a day, whatever she wants. That's going to help her with blood flow into the brain. She could have blocked arteries in the brain, causing a memory problem and speech problems. Osteoporosis of the skull, of course, can cause speech problems and those kind of things. So let's go there. It's a lot of stuff, but let's go there and have her contact us again in 2 weeks and 4 weeks and 6 weeks. But we need to see a picture of her. See, she would be one I'd want to see a picture, because I guarantee you that she's the sort of person that has white hair. She's got varicose veins. She got a lot of wrinkles for her age. Just like this lady who's just before, what was her name? 58 years old?
68. So Bonnie, that was Bonnie.
Bonnie, yeah. Now, 68 years old, 58 years old or 68?
6'8".
6'8", yeah. Now, she looked a lot older than that because she had so much gray hair and so many wrinkles. Okay. Now, if she takes our stuff, all the wrinkles and the gray hair is going to go away, and she's going to look 25 years younger. All the college boys are going to start chasing her. What? Veet. Rivet.
All right. I
Okay.
hear ya. Okay, so with peace, she does have blood pressure.
Okay, then she needs those.
So I
Yeah,
just got
yeah,
a message
yeah.
with that.
She needs the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, right? She needs the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I'd have her get 2 bottles of those. She can take 3 twice a day or 2 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day, and that'll support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through the blocked arteries. All that stuff's going to go away. And don't forget, she needs 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, soft boiled, soft poached, soft scrambled in butter. Hard boiled eggs won't count, and fried eggs will cause cancer and blocked arteries.
All right. Next, let's go to Marie's iPhone, patiently waiting. Go ahead and unmute yourself, sir. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Yes,
really
sir.
enjoy your show on Coast to
Thank
Coast.
you.
We listen religiously.
Well, George is the greatest.
He certainly is. Doctor, I've been diagnosed with enlarged prostate. I do have a history of back problems. Height is 6'2", weight 195, and 67 years of age.
Okay, any other issues? Any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs?
None.
Any hemorrhoids, which are varicose veins in a funny place?
Nope.
Okay. Any high blood pressure, diabetes?
No.
Okay. But you do have the gray hair, okay, which is not an aging thing. That's actually a deficiency thing. And you have a back problem. Now, do you have any numbness or tingling in your feet? Any sciatica in your feet? Anything like
No.
that? Anything going on in your hands?
No.
Hey, do you have any tinnitus? Any ringing in your ears?
Yes.
Okay. You have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, squeezing the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve. So you're a person that this book would be very valuable for. Okay, because this goes into osteoporosis of the skull. Do you have any dizziness or vertigo or anything like that?
I was fighting dizziness about 6 months ago. It's gotten much better, but occasional bouts of it.
Comes and goes.
Yes.
Yeah. Any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No.
Okay. Anything going on in your bowels? Constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease?
Occasional constipation, but not often.
Okay. Yeah. So you have a major gluten problem. Okay. So no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats. Okay. No sugar. Then at 195 pounds, I want you to take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, 2 full doses a day, Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. I want you to get, because you have back issues and osteoporosis of the skull, I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. I want you to take our vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I also, let's see here. I said MSM. Okay, because you have the prostate issues, I want you to take our ProstFX. You could go ahead and take, get 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month of our ProstFX. And then also, I also want you to have our Fucoid Z. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of that. Take 3 of those twice a day. And they support your immune system. They will support maintenance repair of all connective tissue stuff and anti-inflammatory stuff, including the prostate. Okay, that's Fucoid Z. Okay, it's made from a brown marine algae, and you take 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. Add it to your program.
Very good.
And then, yeah, and then get a hold of us every couple of weeks and let us see your picture again, because don't color your hair, because I want to show people as your hair color will come back naturally. Okay, and that'll be a good thing.
Thank you, doctor.
You bet. God bless you, sir.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, Dr. Wallach, Denise is writing in about a 77-year-old woman, 156 pounds. I'm going to say that's 5'3" instead of 53 feet. And has been mainly gluten-free for 6 years, is a diet-controlled diabetic. She's complaining of soreness in the lower jaw and tongue, sensitivity to spices and toothpaste. She has been to a dentist, no issues with her teeth. Is referred to an ear, nose, and throat specialist due to 2 lesions in tissue around the gums. Was given a prescribed mouthwash, which does not help much. and now the doctor wants to do a biopsy, what would you advise?
I'd like her to have an ultrasound rather than a biopsy, because I think she's got osteoporosis of the skull. And she could have a squeezing of the 5th cranial nerve, okay? She'd be squeezing the 7th cranial nerve, getting Bell's palsy. She could be squeezing the 9th cranial nerve, getting glossopharyngeal nerve is the 9th cranial nerve. And this, the 5th cranial nerve, okay? This can cause pain in the tongue and so forth, as can the 9th cranial nerve, the glossopharyngeal nerve, and also trouble swallowing and all that kind of stuff. So at 156 pounds, you got to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rye, and oats. I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want her to have the MSM, 1 bottle a month. She can take 3 twice a day. I want her to take 3 of the vitamin D3 capsules, 3 twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. Because she's even a controlled diabetic, I want her to have 3 of our sweeties twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. Don't cold turkey off her medication. But as her blood sugar reduces, she can slowly reduce her medication based on the numbers, okay? And let's see, the 5th cranial nerve being squeezed can also cause pain in the tongue and the jaw and so forth, okay? So I think she's got a big problem with osteoporosis in the skull.
So do those nerves, do they also, are they connected with our taste buds and that
Yeah,
type of sensation?
exactly. Well, yeah, you can lose your sense of taste and the sense of smell. That's the olfactory nerve. That's nerve number 1. Nerve number 2 is the optic nerve, the cranial nerve number 2, cranial nerve number 2. That's the optic nerve. And it's formed in the brain, goes through the skull to the back of the eye, as well as the artery, and then the vein comes back through that same nerve into the skull, okay? And then, of course, the 5th and 7th cranial nerve have to do with taste and so forth, okay? And so these people, when they say, oh, yeah, one of the symptoms of this pandemic is a loss of the sense of smell and taste. Well, the people with serious pandemic issues are seniors. And it's not the result of the bug, it's the result of this. It's a pre-existing condition. This is why they have a loss of the sense of smell, not because of the infection, but because it's a pre-existing condition that happens to seniors, okay, where they lose their sense of smell and their sense of taste. They say, oh yeah, one of the most common symptoms is a loss of the sense of smell and taste. No, it's not the bug causing that. It's the fact that they're 72 years old and they have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay.
All right. So let's go to Yoon, who has her hand up. And I hope I pronounced your name right. Go ahead.
Yes.
You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Yoon Kam, good morning. How are you, doctor?
Okay. Do you speak Mandarin?
I speak Korean.
Korean. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How can I help you?
Yes, I'm 125 pound, 5 feet 1 inch. And I'm taking a 1 meal a day, and I'm doing on keto diet. But my concern is I'm a pre-diabetes too. My sugar level goes up if I don't control at all right away. Right. And also I'm osteopenia, and I have a gray hair and fatty liver. It's under control, but I have a fatty liver. So,
okay.
yes.
Okay, you ready? Because we only have a moment here, so I want to make sure I get this in. So
Yeah.
none of the bad foods. No, and you already started that. So you know you feel better when you cut your food. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rye, and oats, no sugar. And then I want you to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. I want you to get another bottle of our selenium with the 5 cofactors in it, not from the pharmacy, but our selenium with the 5 cofactors. There's 1 bottle of that comes with the healthy brain and heart pack, because I want you to take 3 of those twice a day, 3 of our selenium with the 5 cofactors twice a day. I also want you to take our sweeties, get 2 bottles of our sweeties a month, so you can take 3 twice a day. Go ahead and take your, if you're taking medication, or you say control with diet, we should be able to.
No, I don't take any medication.
Okay,
It's
good.
thyroid.
Okay, then I also want you to get our MSM, get 1 bottle a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. And then this will cover the liver, the gray hair, the osteopenia, and the pre-diabetes. Call us every week because you're going to be a great testimony. You will help thousands, maybe millions of people with your story. Will you please, Ewan, will you please call us every week and give us a testimony, okay?
Sure,
We'll walk you through this.
I have a question, Doctor.
Quickly.
Oh, yeah. No oil, but what about
No oils.
butter?
Butter is not an oil. You cannot fry in it. You can melt butter. You can melt butter and put it on your sweet potatoes and your rice. That's what I do in the morning when I have my rice and my sweet potato. I melt butter and put it on there.
Oh, okay. I put the
Fried
butter
rice is not good. Fried rice is not good.
Oh, okay. So no
You can
fried.
have no fried rice. You can have brown rice, black rice, yellow rice, red rice, pink rice, white rice. You can have wild rice, but no fried rice.
I'm cooking my fish on the fry pan on oil. So no
oils.
No oils. Okay.
You want to roast your fish, bake your fish, grill your fish, but no frying.
Okay.
Okay. Call us every week. Call us every week.
Thank you.
And one thing I want to add real quick, Dr. Wallach, a lot of people don't realize when you're doing a keto diet or a reduced carb diet, extra protein will convert to sugar, and that will raise your blood sugar in your blood.
That is correct.
So you just want to make sure that we get the
fat
good
gets
fat.
broken. Fat gets broken down into sugar, and even if you're not eating sugar, even if you're a diabetic, eating a high fat diet's not good. Okay, because fat gets broken down into sugars.
All right. Well, we are coming to the top of the hour. We just want to thank everybody for joining us on Ask Doc Live. We are here with the amazing Dr. Joel Wallach every Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time. And if you did not receive your own invitation to this program, go to AskDocLive.com and you will find an area there where you can sign up to receive your own personal invitation to this program. All of the products that Dr. Wallach has spoken of today are also found in the store there at AskDocLive.com and his publications. If you do not know what to take, we have a contact us. You can use that to write us an email, and one of our certified holistic health coaches will respond, and there to serve you. There is also, for those who are brand new, there is their call team that's sitting by waiting for your call at 855-949-7234. On behalf of myself and the ZBS network and our co-hosts, Jonathan McCollier, Nasima Omar, and Ruth Ellen Sanchez, and of course, the amazing Dr. Wallach, we thank you. Have a blessed rest of this week and weekend, and we will see you next Friday, same time, same place. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Va con Dios. 再见.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.